Imagine an extraordinary instructor who also happens to be brave enough to rush into a burning home to save a kitten, yet the same person is afraid of using educational technology in their classroom. This is the type of instructor I enjoy helping. Why a website on blended training triage? I am working full-time. I'm working on a doctorate. I have a busy home life, and I like to do volunteer work. To make the most of my time, I've learned to use my class assignments to help out the agencies I volunteer for or to benefit my 8-to-5 job. As I've mentioned throughout this class, I enjoy working with fire organizations in the state of South Carolina to help them improve firefighter instruction and training. My contacts there have mentioned the need for a course for fire instructors that explains how to teach the online portion of blended training. Most of the materials currently available focus on teaching blending courses in the K-12 or university settings. Relatively few resources exist for instructors who teach adult career training. The proposed course needs to be fairly concise, something an instructor could complete on their own in a few hours. Since the fire service is mostly comprised of volunteers, it's important to make the most of their time. For these reasons, I came up with the idea to develop a blended training triage website to include content that could be expanded and developed into a course later on. Eventually, such a course as this would lead to endorsement training that fire instructors would be required to complete to be qualified to teach a blended course offered through the South Carolina Fire Academy. Who is the audience? The users of this website would be fire service instructors in the state of South Carolina. More than likely, these instructors would have many years of firefighter and classroom teaching experience. Most of the fire service instructors who have a need for this course have very little knowledge about how to teach or learn in a blended setting. For the most part, South Carolina fire instructors are white male, aged 30 to 50. Many have completed at least some college, although most do not have college degrees. Instructors who are new to blended training probably have some level of anxiety and would want the information so that they would feel comfortable teaching in a blended course. The Academy uses a Moodle learning management system which will eventually host the course. In many cases, the Academy's fire instructors work a regular full-time job at a fire department in addition to teaching training courses on the side. They will want theoretical information presented on a need-to-know basis. Since most of the fire service instructors have very little experience with online training, the information will need to be very basic and written at a non-academic level. After reading the information on the website, instructors should have the knowledge and confidence to facilitate a blended training course. How was the content selected? I contacted the South Carolina Fire Academy ahead of time and discussed the overall content and how much would be realistically developed within an 8-week time period of the course. There simply wasn't enough time to develop a complete course, plus all the supplemental assignments. Working with people at the Academy, we were able to create a list of topics as a starting point. From there, I used Coglit and CMAP to create mind maps for helping organize the content and navigational structures of the website. I ended up with 3 main subject areas, which then sent me looking for a template that divided the content into 3 sections. Why Jimdo? For developmental tools, I looked at Jimdo and WebNode, mainly because of the marketing descriptions on both these websites emphasize mobile access and responsive web design. I decided against using WebNode because the account confirmation email from WebNode included my username and password clearly labeled, which is a dangerous and sloppy practice. Jimdo was especially easy to use, and I liked the templates. I chose a red, black, and gray color scheme because red is the traditional color for the fire service. It may sound silly, but firefighters expect to see textbooks and websites use red. If anything is blue, they automatically assume it's for the police or EMS workers. Because of this, I didn't have to give the color scheme much thought. What influenced media choices? I wanted to incorporate multimedia tools that I thought fire instructors might actually use in their training courses. I created a trailer as an example of a way an instructor might publicize a fire training course, a welcome message using Voki, examples of weekly messages from an instructor using Windows Movie Maker and Animoto, and a collaborative wiki so that instructors can create a list of FAQs about blended training. I hope to encourage fire instructors to start using tools like these. I don't know of any fire instructors using multimedia programs like these, but I think doing so would make the online portion of blended training more engaging, especially at the Firefighter 1 and 2 level. By far, the most time was spent developing a working quiz app for hazmat placards using MIT's App Inventor. I'm interested to see if App Inventor is something that we can use at my regular job to develop marketable products. I think it has potential. I think all of my multimedia interactions turned out pretty well, except for the Voki, which most adults seem to think is a little weird. Another downside is that Voki animations don't seem to display on most cell phones. Is the site user-friendly? The site includes easy-to-read text, a good contrast between the text and the background, and meaningful headings. The responsive CSS seems to work fairly well, meaning you don't have to do any finger zooming to read the website's contents. The usability test prompted some minor edits to the website. After making the changes suggested by my test users, it is now easier to navigate the site and in the preferred order of the topics. I also added some additional interior navigation links, and I think this has made the site more user-friendly. What can be improved? Like any website, blended training triage is a work in progress. Of course, one of the benefits of developing materials for the web is that improvements can be made on the fly. After the Academy has had time to think about additional topics, we'll make plans to have the remaining content developed. Future topics include how to use the Academy's Moodle LMS and assignments to give instructors practice developing various types of multimedia, especially video. After that, we'll go back into production mode, pilot the course, implement it, and get more feedback. Although materials produced for this website will eventually reside on another server, the website provides a convenient space for me to write and a way for the fire instructors I'm working with to monitor progress and to offer input as the content evolves. So that's the behind the look scenes at my website. Thank you for watching this presentation. I appreciate your time.